You know, when you think of a dolphin, you probably picture the open ocean, right? The big blue. But what if I told you that some of the oldest, most fascinating dolphins on Earth actually live deep inside our biggest rivers? Yeah, you heard that right. These are the river dolphins, and today we're going to dive into their amazing story of survival.
Just look at this. These creatures are, well, they're like sentinels, guardians. They're ancient species that have been swimming these waters for millions of years. It's best to think of them as a living, breathing barometer for the river's health. Seriously, if they're doing okay, it tells you the whole ecosystem is in good shape, from the tiniest fish all the way up to the millions of people who rely on that very same river. And that's really the core question here, isn't it? The story of the river dolphin, it goes so far beyond just one animal. This is a story about the health of our planet's most crucial arteries, its rivers, and how deeply we're connected to them.
All right, so let's get into it. The world's hidden dolphins. Who are these mysterious creatures? Well, there are actually 6 different species, and you'll find them hidden away in the massive river systems of Asia and South America. And their job in these ecosystems, it's not just important, it is absolutely vital.
See, they're apex predators, which means they're at the very top of the food chain. So it's pretty simple. If the dolphins are thriving, that's a huge sign that everything else is too. The fish, the plant life, even the quality of the water. But you know, it's not just about the science. These animals are woven into the cultural fabric of the local communities. Their survival is directly tied to the millions and millions of people who need these rivers for their food, their water, their entire way of life.
But here's the thing. These sentinels, they're sending out an SOS. They are under incredible pressure, caught in a current of threats that are pushing them right to the edge.
Take a look at this map. This tells the heartbreaking story of the Indus River dolphin. That tiny little blue line, that's where they live now. All that other color, that's their old stomping grounds. Their home has been shattered, broken up into these tiny, isolated pockets. We're talking an 80% loss of where they used to live. Just staggering.
And it feels like they're fighting a war on 2 fronts. You've got these massive dams and barriers that just slice up the river, walling them off, isolating them, making their world smaller and smaller. And then you have these silent killers, these invisible traps, things like gill nets or illegal fishing gear that act like deadly snares.
And then there's the stuff you can't even see, the invisible threats. Think about it. Runoff from farms packed with pesticides, wastewater from factories full of heavy metals. It all just silently poisons their home. On top of that, the nonstop digging for sand and gravel just rips up the riverbeds they need to find food. And all the noise from the constant boat traffic, it's like trying to live in a construction zone 24/7, totally messing up their ability to find their way around and hunt.
So what's the result of all this pressure? Well, it's this number, -58%. That is the population collapse of the Yangtze finless porpoise, and that happened in just 2 decades. It's a flashing red light, a totally undeniable signal that the whole river system is in deep, deep trouble.
Okay, so when you're facing a crisis this big, you have to think differently. You need a new game plan. So how are scientists and conservationists actually building a strategy for survival? Well, it all starts with something pretty simple, listening. It's an approach called local ecological knowledge, or LEK for short. And this is so cool. It's not just about scientists with clipboards. It's about pairing up modern research with the deep, collective wisdom of the people who've lived on these rivers for generations, especially the fishers. I mean, these folks know every bend, every current, every secret of the river. And the tragic story of the Baji, the Yangtze River dolphin that's now considered functionally extinct, well, that case showed just how powerful LEK can be. By simply talking to fishers of all different ages, researchers were able to literally map the disappearance of the species through people's living memories. That's the kind of insight that a formal scientific survey could never, ever capture. And this, right here, brings us to the most hopeful part of this entire story. The real fight to save these dolphins. It's not just happening in a lab somewhere. It's being led out on the water by the people who actually call these rivers home. It's all built around this idea called community co-management. And what that means is, instead of some far-off government agency making all the rules, this approach actually empowers the local communities. It gives them the power, the resources, the tools to become the real guardians of their own natural resources. So what happens when you actually put the local community in the driver's seat? You get results like this, 2,247%.
I mean, what in the world could that number possibly represent? It's incredible.
Get this. That is the average increase in fish biomass, basically the total weight of fish, found inside fish reserves that are managed by the community in Thailand's Salween River. When local people protect even just a small piece of their river, the ecosystem doesn't just bounce back, it explodes with life. It's just a stunning example of what local stewardship can do.
And hey, this isn't just a one-off success story. This is happening all over the world. It's a global movement of river guardians. In India, you've got over 4,000 Ganga Mitras, friends of the river, who are cleaning things up and rescuing dolphins. Over in Cambodia, community river guards are out there patrolling the Mekong, seizing illegal gear. And globally, people just like you and me are using apps on their phones to report sightings and check water quality. They're becoming citizen scientists. Now, community action is amazing. It's powerful, but it can't do it all alone. It needs backup from the top. The final piece of this whole puzzle is about completely re-engineering how we think about our rivers, not just locally, but on a huge system-wide scale.
It's time to shift away from the old way of thinking, which frankly hasn't worked. We need a new, more holistic approach. So instead of just assessing one dam at a time, we need to be planning for the entire river system. Instead of constantly chopping up our rivers, we need to fight to protect the ones that still flow free. It's really about a change in perspective, seeing the river not just as a resource to be divided up, but as one single interconnected living system.
And you know what? We actually have proven models for how to do this. There's a framework called Conservation Assured. It was first created to help save wild tigers, and it sets these really high standards for things like monitoring populations and running anti-poaching patrols. And now, that exact same successful model is being adapted for river dolphins. The idea is to create a real gold standard for what a healthy, protected river should look like.
Really, the goal here is to get out of crisis mode. We have to stop just reacting to problems and start planning for success, proactively. A future with healthy rivers, with thriving dolphin populations, that's not just going to happen by accident. It has to be designed, it has to be intentional, weaving together the needs of people and nature right from the get-go. And in the end, that's what this all boils down to. This quote says it all. Saving river dolphins, it's not really just about the dolphins, is it? It's about us. It's a human issue. Because by protecting these sentinels, we're really protecting the health of the very rivers that sustain all of us. It's about building a future where both people and nature can thrive together.